What's up guys, Big M here. I'm a former British paratrooper, and in today's video we're going to be talking about exercise swift response for members of 2nd Battalion Parachute Regiment working alongside the 82nd Airborne of the United States. I'm super excited to get into this video. If you are too, please hit that like and subscribe. Massively helps out this channel. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers guys, so thank you very much. Guys, without further ado, let's get into it. Exercise swift response. So British paratroopers working alongside the American counterparts, American forces, in a big joint exercise in preparation for, you know, future potential threats or whatever. So this is a big exercise that happens. Let's get into it.
An exercise like Swift Response 21 is going to allow a paratrooper to really confirm to himself and everyone that's looking at him that he is truly ready for anything.
For those that don't know, this is the Parachute Regiment motto, Utrunque Paratus, which means ready for anything. So that's what that officer was alluding to then. Utrunque Paratus. There's a lot of space in the back of a C-17 in comparison to a C-130. Machine guns, let's go. Fort Bragg.
It was harder to deploy on this exercise than the exercises from the past because of COVID.
We've isolated.
That's just a quick one there, guys. You know, COVID may have stopped the rest of the world, you know, from shops and stuff, but the army, the military, the forces have to continue. So yeah, that's what he's alluding to there. It's difficult to do the stuff they want to be doing, training wise, but it still needs to be done because war ain't gonna stop just because of COVID, you know. So it's very difficult.
For the required period, plus we've isolated when we got here as well. Been inundated with COVID tests and we've all come out negative.
So then once you put your hand up, straight back.
Our platoon was nervous in case we did get a positive of a COVID test. I was, because it's my first time coming to America.
He was not screwing the nut. This guy here was not screwing the nut with that. I'm not having it. He is absolutely just shoved it down his nose.
It's my first time coming to America. The COVID test out here was, yeah, it was pretty tough because they stick it right up your nose compared to like back in England.
There he is. Awesome. He's done.
Obviously, the weather is, because it's so cold back home, it's more enjoyable training here because of the heat, and it just makes, you know, it's just more enjoyable.
It is awesome. The forces are so good for travel. You get to go to certain, like, all over the world, all these nice places, warmer environments, especially if you're from Britain where your summer is wet and cold. So this is it's good for the guys to get out and go to all these cool parts of the world. Pull-ups. Awesome exercise.
Acclimatising to the weather, I think the first couple of days, we've just took it quite easy. But then we've started ramping up the fitness and stuff like that, just so we can get used to the heat.
it's important to go, when you go to different environments, to do what they're doing there, acclimatization. So it usually consists of a couple of weeks of just getting out, training in the heat. In this case, getting used to the hotter temperatures. Because last thing you want to do is go straight into operations or straight into exercises, not acclimatized, and you just pile in. You would just pile in.
So the aim of exercise Swift Response 21 is to test interoperability and strategic projection. What that means is us looking to deliver troops from one continent to the other to respond to an emerging crisis.
So the basic.
Awesome, that. I've not seen that. That's pretty flipping cool. When I was in the flight swings, we called them, were in a hangar, and you just sort of braced up into a hangar and did all your drills, your parachuting drills there. But this looks way more advanced, I'd say. Like outside, throws you about.
Basic airborne refresher was quite a long day actually, but I think it's quite similar to ours in how we run things.
Alright, you guys are going to get out of the parachute and swap so that everyone's gotten into the parachute.
So you have to work well in a team in the parachute regiment. It goes back from when you're back in depot. You're always checking each other over.
To using their kit, they have great kit. It is different in ways, and at first you don't like it, but once you get your head around it, I actually do think it's better kit. But
that's interesting. There's always this big argument, who's got the best stuff. You know, America is massive. The money that gets plugged into defense is ridiculous in comparison to the British. So I truly believe their kit and equipment is better than ours. But money, this money, do you know what I mean?
On soldiering base, you know, I think we're just a bit ahead of him.
The standard of the British soldier, though, you know, it's got a good reputation.
Interoperability training is really important to make sure that we're ready to go to answer the call, were it to come to face any sort of emerging crisis from anywhere across the world in a short space of time. So really important for airborne forces to do these type of exercises and prepare for them effectively.
They put you in like a tower, you have to jump out, and the one back at Bryce Norton, you jump out and you just fall to the bottom and bang out a roll. Theirs, you've got to leap out, it drags you on a line, and you have to do your count correctly. You then check your count.
That is a lot more realistic as far as what it actually is like jumping out of a plane than what we do at Bryce Norton. This is way more of a realistic simulator. When you jump out and you hit that slipstream of an aircraft, you're almost horizontal at some point. You know, you're flicked about, you're ragged about. So the first couple of seconds are pretty hectic. That looked pretty spot on as far as training apparatus goes, and it does look better than ours.
Canopy, and then you have to make out you've got a fault, and you literally pull it, and I think that's as close as you can get to doing it for real.
So interoperability is getting after our ability to use US equipment and equally help the US members that we're working with utilise UK kit should they need to on the field of battle.
I've never jumped C-17 before, so it was quite a different experience. I mean, it was a massive plane, and to see that many people on it, it was like, a little bit mind-blowing.
C-17s are massive, way bigger than the C-130s, what we're used to jumping out of. So, much more room, much more manoeuvrability, much more comfortable inside. It's good stuff.
Because it was American jumps, and I haven't jumped American since 2005, with the new kit and equipment, jumping out of a different plane. I'll be honest with you, slightly nervous.
no matter how long you do in these, in the paras or in any airborne forces, it's still nervous when you're going and getting ready to jump. Okay, at the end of the day, you've thrown yourself out of an aircraft, so the nerves are real. Okay, the nerves are real. I guarantee everyone there was bricking it a little bit.
As soon as I got on that plane, my adrenaline kicks in, nerves go straight out the window. I've got my men behind me. I always try and make sure I'm like first man. I look behind me and you've got the, you know, the privates that aren't as experienced, and I can see how worried they are. So then I feel like, you know, that's when the lead.
The kit is heavy. That's why he's leaning on there. He's not leaning because he's about to have a heart attack because he's scared. This kit's heavy, so he's just having a little breather. The kit attached to your leg, it is uncomfortable, and if you're flying around and low-level flying for a long period of time, it does get really, really, really uncomfortable. So I bet these guys are absolutely hanging out now to just get out the aircraft.
Leadership takes over you.
When you're in there sitting waiting for the green light to go on, and there's so many emotions, and it's just so quick at the time. When you get on the plane and you get to the door and you jump in, it's just a different experience.
Airborne. Go on the GPMG.
Good job, Fritz.
GPMG, best gun ever.
You hit your home, hit your hand, it goes on the other side, hit the other side.
We had a day, we had like a competition which the Americans set up, the 82nd Airborne, and we were supposed to, you know, we were placed against an American, and we were supposed to work as a team, but because of every reg bloke wants to finish first, it became a competition really.
There was one of us, one UK soldier and one American soldier, and we had a certain number of tasks to complete.
That's the thing with the parachute regiment. Everyone's got that drive to be the best. They've got that drive to be #1 spot. So, and I imagine the US Airborne is the exact same. So you've got two people like that who both want to be the best. It's going to be a great bit of healthy competition, right?
Again, I appreciate all the effort you guys put out this morning. It was a good time. Thanks to all the Paris for coming out here and letting us slow you down. It was a good time.
We're doing the right thing and living the values that we want to promote. Thank you guys very much, and for both of you guys. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. I'm going to try to pin this to Earl's chest there, but he doesn't have it. His partner must have shaved it so they were faster before they went out there.
I do think that legacy is important, because you build the bonds, and the bonds have been brought back from World War II. So I think keeping and building on these bonds that we have with the United States, it's second to none. I think we work quite well.
Guys, in the comments, if you've ever worked with the British Paras or British lads, if you ever worked with the Americans, let us know. Let us know your experiences. I'm sure it was awesome. I'd love to hear it.
It's massively important. It goes all the way back to World War II, where we worked together to, you know, defeat the enemy of the world, all the way up to my experience, my calling to join the army really, which was 9/11. Before I joined the army, I remember that happening on TV, and I'm sure like many people in my generation, and from there, from Iraq and the 2 tours off of Afghan, I've worked with the Americans, and yeah, it's just a brotherhood, and the culture will always be there for each other.
Awesome.
Hey guys, that's awesome from Sheps right there. Look, we got some legacy right here behind us. Sheps talked about the legacy. We're going to continue to build some of that legacy today. All right, we're going to continue on the field over there. We'll play some rugby, we'll play some American football, whatever else you got.
Nice.
So it's really important we try and parachute across these large distances, in this case the US to Estonia, to confirm that we can do it.
So now they're getting ready to do a long flight, finish up with a parachute descent onto a different continent. The whole purpose of this exercise is to do that and to prove that they can do that.
So I'm looking forward to jumping into Estonia. I never have jumped into an exercise with a full kit, and it's going to be at night. So when we jump in and land, I have to get our bearings out and find where we have to go in the night.
For the young lads to, you know, work with the Americans, go as a joint force, moving across continents, to then jump in at night, yeah, with all your kit, not knowing where you're going to land, to then get ready to go do our mission and achieve it.
Jumping in at day is one thing, right? Jumping full kit at night is a whole nother level. So when you're jumping out of an aircraft, you have to check your parachute. The nearest paratrooper at night, your sight is limited. So you don't know if you've got a hole up or tear in your parachute. You don't know necessarily how close your nearest guy is. Everything gets significantly harder.
Once that parachute door opens and he's moving towards the exit, it will be up to him to start stitching together and fighting problems in the air, on the descent, on the DZ, on his own, until he can marry up with his buddy, his colleagues, to start achieving the overall objectives of the mission.
Let's go.
Defender 21 is a huge exercise with many more aspects going on around swift response. It's not just about parachuting activity, it's about logistical support, movement of armoured tanks and heavy equipment, both by land, sea and air. So we will have troops, equipment working across Croatia, Albania, Germany and a whole host of other different countries as part of the Defender 21 series.
There we have it, guys. Exercise Swift Response. Parachute Regiment working with the 82nd Airborne. What are your thoughts? That was a great video. I liked the cinematography. If you liked what you see, guys, don't forget, like and subscribe. Massively helps out the channel. And yeah, see you in the next one.